Alright guys, so today we're installing a Mitsubishi mini split, and we've already got the evaporator hung up. We've already got a line set ran. That stuff you should be able to do if you're attempting to do this project. The mounting bracket on the back of this guy is literally just anchored into the wall. It's got 1,000,000 anchor points. You choose, pick what you want, however many you want. And then you hang there's 3 points, one here, in the middle, and over there, that actually sits and hooks on top of the bracket. So after you hang that and run your line set, we're going to start here and go over how to properly connect your refrigerant lines. So on your refrigerant lines, you're going to want to look at the ends here. These are the factory ends and the factory flare nut here. I always cut them off because you're going to want to use what comes with the it's its own little pairing here. This guy is different than that one. Will it work? Yes, but I always cut those off, put this on, and reflare. And the reason being, you may or may not have the issue, but I have had the issue right here. You can actually see it's a beveled edge on top. See, I put my nail on it. That right there is going to create a leak point because it's not a smooth flare. Smooth down here, but up there it's not. It's actually a terrible flare from the factory. The flare it's actually a small flare too, so it probably would pull out if you were to put tighten it on there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get these cut and put on the new one, and I'll show you how to oil and put them on and connect them. Okay, so what you need here, we got a flaring tool, the imp cutter to cut the pipe, and then you're going to need a deburring tool. So we're going to use the imp cutter. We're going to put it right on here, just right on the other side of that flare, and cut that flare off, remove him, take him off, and put him on first. Slide the new nut on first, and then we're going to attach the flaring tool. If you do it backwards, you're going to be cutting it off and repeating the process. So let me do that real quick and I'll catch back. Okay, the flare is cut off. Now we got to ream it like this, and you're going to make it all nice and smooth. And when you're doing it, make sure the pipe is pointing downhill, that way nothing falls inside. Alright, so when you go to flare it, this distance, the amount sticking out here, I always say about a nickel, the width of a nickel. That way, because your flare, if your flare is too small, it's not gonna work, and if it's too big, the nut won't even slide down over top of it. So it needs to be a perfect flare. And you can see the beveled edges here. So that side needs to go on the side you're actually gonna be flaring. Okay, so now you got your new flare. It's a beautiful flare. No sharp edges, nice and smooth. And when you pull that down over it, it fills the inside on the flare part of the nut part. So now that you saw me do that, go ahead and repeat the process and do it on that side. Okay, so once you have your new flares and your nuts are on them, we're going to go ahead and get our torque wrench out, because when we connect them to here, we got to torque them to a specific spec based off of the size line that we have here. I have a cap here that has refrigeration oil on it, and what I like to do is put oil on the threads and then also put it behind the neck of the flare here. That way this here can spin nice and free, it doesn't get snagged and start twisting the pipe. And then on the threads, that way this guy spins and pulls nice and tight to the onto the flare there. And it's only a little bit that you need. So put oil there. And then on the back side of that guy, and then you can also just do the face of those. Just keeps it nice and free. So you're just going to repeat the process and then get everything connected. And then as for your spec that you need to do, your torque wrench, because you'll have a flaring nut one that'll tell you what size number you use will correspond to your tube size, and it'll tell you a torque to what you need to set it to. So for example, this is a 5/8 line. You come over here, 5/8, you have two options. The one, you just got to find the one that fits the nut there. In this case, mine's a 29. It'll go right over top of that. And I'll set my torque wrench to 56 foot-pounds, which is the same for both nut size. And in case you're wondering, this right here tells you for all your tubing sizes. what the foot-pounds of torque is, so you ain't gotta look it up according to Yellow Jacket. Okay, so now that we are done, everything's torqued to specs. Don't worry about wrapping it or insulating it yet, because you're going to want to finish the entire project, and when you do a pressure test at the end, we're going to come back and make sure we don't have any leaks around here. Once there's no leaks, you can beautify it and do whatever you want. Like I said, this whole thing's going to be anchored to the wall, going to be nice, formed right up into that little pocket there. Alright, once you got the inside all connected, make sure you ran all the way out to your condenser. You come through, and then you're going to connect and do the exact same thing that you did on the inside to right there. So do that and get it connected. Okay, so once you get these connected right here, you're going to want to do a 24-hour pressure test. Unfortunately, that part of the video got deleted on accident, so it held pressure. Right now, we're going to do the vacuum. You want to pull it down to 500 microns, and this is your micron gauge over here. We're at 700 on my gauges right now. I'm just pulling it down to make sure I don't have any leaks in my hoses right here. And then anyhow, there's only one port on these things, which makes it take a little bit of time, but it's brand new, so it should go fairly quick. But anyhow, one hose gets connected to it. It goes up to your micron gauge, comes down back to your manifold. The middle hose goes over to your vacuum pump. So I'm gonna go ahead and open everything up and pull vacuum down to 500 microns. All right, guys, once your microns get below 500, I'm at 326 right now. And once you get below 500, you're good to go. 500 is what you want to get down to. Once you get below 1,000, you still got a little bit further to go, but 1,000, you can pretty be sure that you don't have any leaks or anything like that. But what we're gonna do, just close off your valves and everything. Close off the pump. You can turn it off. Close this guy. And then go ahead and open up your system. Just like that, your refrigeration side is completed. Now next you can move on to the electric. Alright guys, so once you have released the refrigerant and got all that refrigeration side done, we're going to do the electric. I had an electrician run me power out to my condenser here, okay? And then from here, so you got your L1, L2, L3, or ground, sorry, S1, S2, S3. S1 and S2 are your power going in, and S3 is your communication wire. All three of these wires, at best, especially the communication wire, cannot be broken. They need to go straight through all the way to the condenser or the evaporator. The evaporator does not get power ran to it. It is fed from the condenser here. Like I said, S1, S2 actually feed the power supply to the evaporator, and then S3 is the communication wire. So I'll go inside and show you where they go. It's best to use 3 different colors so you can land them on the exact same terminals where it says S1, S2, S3. Okay, so the S1, S2, S3 wires ran into the room up here, and they're landed right up there. S1, S2, S3, and those same colors match the outside, the condenser, and there are no breaks. And this is a 140-foot run. My communication wires for my thermostat are right there, and they go down to my sat that's on the wall right there that I'm just getting ready to snap into place. Okay. I got my thermostat all hooked up and running. We're set for 70, it's 71 in here. Nice cold air coming out. We're all wrapped up, anchored to the wall. If you want to save money with your AC or heat, this is a hyperheat system, extremely efficient. It goes down to like negative 22 degrees, something like that for heating outside temperature. Extremely easy to install. You hang the wall unit, you run the line set, and you put the condenser outside, and then you just run your power from outside to inside. That's literally all you gotta do. There's no ductwork, none of that stuff. The easiest thing ever. Man, I'm freezing out here. Guys, if you would, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.